I'm Aaron Matus with D1 Ticker and Collegiate Sports Connect, joined today by Jeff Bourne, the athletic director at James Madison University. Jeff, thank you for being here today.
Aaron, thanks for having me.
You guys are currently enjoying what will be your final run through the FCS playoffs and doing quite well. You host Montana this weekend. So obviously in the short term, that's where the focus is. But we're kind of curious about this FBS transition and how you're kind of approaching that right now. What's going on right now and what's on your calendar when it comes to making that move?
Well, we want to try to, as quickly as we can, migrate over to a Sunbelt schedule. It would be ideal if there's a way that we can do that in a 1 year period of time rather than two. And we're working for the 22 season to attempt to get 5 home games. When you look at the criteria that the NCAA has laid out with regard to other institutions being able to treat JMU as an FBS opponent, that fifth game will be very important to us. Right now, Keith Gill and the Sun Belt Conference have offered to give us 4 home games in the schedule, which would be terrific. We would then play 4 away, and we're looking for that fifth home game.
Is that proving to be difficult or just another step in the process?
Challenging. We've had a difficult time. Obviously, I don't. I was on the other side of the tracks at one point in time at an FBS school and worked with scheduling. So I can understand there are a lot of opportunities out there scheduling wise. And most folks don't want to schedule an institution that they consider might be challenging to play. You're looking for a win or a guaranteed win. And, with our history of playing at home, we've been pretty good. And then we have a respectable track record on the road. So I can understand, I guess, the position, but given it's really a first year transition for JMU, I am hopeful and optimistic that we'll be able to find an opponent that would be willing to come here next fall.
When you were considering this move, did you approach coaches for feedback, or is it ultimately your decision? And if you did have those conversations, how'd they go? What did you hear from some of your coaching staff?
Well, this transition has been something that we've been working on for a long time. It's not been something that we just talked about in the last 12 to 6 months. We've looked at the possibility of an FBS transition now for over 10 years, 10 to 12-year window, at least starting to consider it. And then wanted to be in a position when we transitioned where our program was healthy across the board and where we would be competitive, not just maybe in 1 or 2 sports, but in quite a few. Aspirationally, as a department, we expect all of our programs to win conference championships. And we've been very fortunate in the past to do that. We were finally able to complete a new basketball arena and parking complex, which just finished. We're in actually the second year of that now. So we were encouraged by that. And I think had we moved earlier, we would not have had to be able to finish our facilities the way that we have at JMU as they stand today. So it's been a long process. We've talked about our coaches, about it to our coaches along the way. You're never quite sure exactly what that ultimate model may look like until you do get an offer. But this one for us had a lot of the divisional aspects to it that were very important. Schools that we have had a relationship with in the past and had played, been a member of our league, institutions where there was a deep rivalry like there is with Appalachian State. So across the board, we felt like it was a great fit. And then when that included the Western Division of the Sun Belt schools, it really did work out well for us. So we're just really happy to be here. And I think our coaches are excited about this transition and what it means.
We wanted to ask you about how you approach donors for this move and what kind of firm commitments that you got. And I imagine what you just said played a big role. The fact that you were considering this for so long, it probably allowed you to have conversations throughout the years, especially with some of your best supporters.
We did, and donors and fan support are a huge element of this. Our fan base is very supportive of the move. They feel like the exposure that we'll glean from playing in the Sun Belt will be a good thing. We'll be back to playing schools like Old Dominion, who were in our league at one time, along with Georgia State, and then some deep rivalries with Marshall and Appalachian, Coastal, Georgia Southern, all which are here in our divisional play each year, and that's going to be a major attribute for scheduling, and being affiliated with ESPN is another very, very important element of this for us, not just in football but across the board. So we've talked to our donors about it. They've been very, very supportive. I think if you would go out in the parking lots and poll people at during pre-games, you'd find a lot of support for the move, and we've just seen a real outpouring of positive feedback from our donors.
In the short term, give us a little bit of a state of the relationship right now, given how things went down with the CAA and the postseason. Is there a sour taste on your end, or perhaps extra motivation in the postseasons you do play in, i.e. the football game you got coming up this weekend?
The answer to that would be yes. There are. I think the majority of this is being felt by our sports programs outside of football, though. Quite frankly, football's been able to compete through the championship playoffs and could be designated as a champion in the league. So for them, it's not a bittersweet moment, but it would be for our other student athletes who have really behind the scenes lost opportunities, and for those in this semester and next that will lose the opportunity to compete for championships. I guess, having been through this before and been in the CA for some time, the challenging thing is, given where the national climate is with NCAA and the position that's been taken nationally with regard to student athlete well-being and emphasis on the student, it's I think we'd all agree it's changed over the last 5 or 6 years. It's always been to that point to some degree, but it right now is sort of mission critical for all of us that is our focus. And prior to this decision being made, I really did honestly feel like the league would go back and reverse its position, and they didn't. And I would just it would be something for me that I would hope, even though it may not benefit JMU at some point in time, um, I would hope it's something that they change, because it's not in the best interest of the league to take that stand.
Well, Jeff, we certainly do appreciate your time today and want to say best of luck this weekend in the FCS postseason with your game against Montana. Thank you.
Thanks, Aaron. It's going to be a great game, and they're a great opponent. We're looking forward to it.